feel-good news. Our first feel-good story is going to be about a young Irish teenager who won Google's 2019 Science Fair for his project focusing on extracting microplastics from water. Fionna Ferreira, I hope I didn't butcher his name, who is 18, won the $50,000 grant prize for using ferrofluids to remove microplastics from water. The 10 most commonly found microplastics in wastewater were used in his tests, including microfiber from washing machines and microbeads from cosmetic products. The results obtained supported his hypothesis. With this method, he could remove at least 85% of plastics from a sample. That's amazing. He says, from the results, I conclude that my method would form the basis for an effective way of extracting microplastic from wastewater before the settling process in wastewater treatment centers. Again, amazing. Specifically, he says, the method is very suitable for the plastic industries and recycling plants who do not currently have a screening process. I'm now going to show you a little video about his invention. Okay, this next one, I gotta say, I kind of laughed, but at the same time, oh, I feel so bad for the man because I can understand, how it happened. You get cleaning, things go flying, it happens. So let me tell you about this gentleman. A man in Oregon accidentally threw away a shoebox containing his life savings. He threw it in the recycling. When the man realized he had accidentally thrown away a shoebox containing $23,000 into the recycling bin outside his home, he called to alert Recology in Ashland in hopes that he could find it. By the time he called, the load had already been shipped to the Samoa Resource Recovery Center in California and was somewhere among more than 22 tons of recycling. We take quite a bit of material every day, so the odds of finding that are not much better than a needle in a haystack, said Linda Wise, general manager of the Samoa Resource Recovery Center. However, she didn't give up. She told her staff to be on the lookout for the shoebox. Lo and behold, doesn't that box show up and come down the sorting line, and they were all excited to see it. The man who lost the cash was ecstatic when Linda Wise called to tell him the money had been found. He, along with his family, made the 5-hour drive to Humboldt County to claim it. Linda Wise said it was a bonding moment for her team to come together and do something nice for someone. I gotta be honest, there's another one that just gives me hope. Honest people. Oh my gosh, that is wonderful. It's so wonderful. Our next feel-good news piece is about Lamar Harris. Now, Lamar Harris is a special needs adult with mental abilities of a preteen who lives in New Jersey, and he's lived there his entire life. He's lived in this home his entire life. Well, apparently, as a result of the death of his family members, his reading deficits, and his inability to understand finances, Mr. Harris had fallen behind in his property taxes. They hadn't been paid since his father passed in 2015. So he was about to lose his home if he didn't pay $50,000. The neighbors discovered that he was days away from losing his home that he had grown up in, and they rallied and raised more than $67,000. Terry, who has known Harris for 38 years, who's known Mr. Harris for 38 years, set up a GoFundMe page to try and settle his debts. Fretz says, "We, his neighbors, have all banded together and have been watching out for Lamar since his dad passed. This problem just recently came to light, and it's too big for just his neighbors to handle," is what he wrote on the GoFundMe. And in just 1 week, they raised enough money to satisfy the lien and pay almost all of his 2019 taxes. Mr. Harris was so thrilled when he heard he'd be able to stay in his home that he called everyone on his street and met them in their yards to celebrate. "We want to thank the hundreds of wonderful people who found room for Mr. Harris in their hearts. You are all proof that kindness can make a difference in a person's life in a big way. We have raised the money needed to pay off the lien that was placed on Mr. Harris's home. He is very grateful and understands the kindness that has been bestowed upon him. All donations that he continues to receive will be applied to his future and current needs, for example, attorney fees, current year taxes, and home maintenance. All money will be deposited into a bank account set up solely for Mr. Harris's benefit. There is still good in the world. There's still hope for us all." See, now there's another one. When the community bands around somebody in need. It's a wonderful thing. It is a wonderful thing. And the last video for today is about ducks crossing. So traffic came to a standstill in one coastal Maine town last week as a parade of ducks, 45 of them, made their way across the highway. The ducks stopped traffic on Route 111 in Bidford, which is a city roughly 20 miles southwest of Portland, during Wednesday morning's rush hour commute, but the drivers didn't seem to care. Video shows the ducks quickly parading across the street, stalling 4 lanes of traffic moving in both directions. The ducks seemingly proceeded in 3 groups, with more than a dozen in the first. The second flock of ducks appeared to be hesitant to cross the road, but the waiting drivers remained patient and let the birds pass. 2 more ducks then eventually find their way across the street, quickly waddling as the cars still wait for them to pass. Proof that there are more good people in this world than bad. Not one person in the 2 lines of traffic were beeping or impatient with these guys, even the last 2 stragglers. Okay, I'm going to end this here, and I will hopefully have another video in the next day or 2, and with some more feel-good news. Again, like, subscribe, let me know if there's anything in particular that you would like me to talk about, and I will happily do so. Thank you.